What's up, y'all? Derek Johnson here, also known as Rattletrap 1776. So, there's something that happened recently that can absolutely 100% again, like numerous other validities, validate and quote unquote prove that 45-47, the whole image is a strategic and special operation, which means you're going to have to know a lot of terms, definitions, strategies, and tactics out of irregular warfare, unconventional warfare, all the warfares really, and then also military laws and federal laws. The orders are the enforcements of those and the actions of those. So there's something that took place recently that absolutely proves it. So for people who don't know what a military government is and continuity government, government exile, and continuity of operations, then you're going to be hurting until you understand those. Because what you're witnessing right now is absolutely 100% a military government, which means the Constitution and your Bill of Rights are actually suspended for this time period. So you might want to know that just in case you're one of those quote unquote influencers out there who are misleading people, and a lot of people on TikTok who are actually stealing my work, which saw intellectual property. It's all in #1 best-selling books with timestamps and where I signed my contract, which was at Trump International 43 days before President Trump put the dash on his ball cap, the image. I signed my contract to write these books that are #1 bestsellers, independent, no ghostwriters, no editors, all me, a retired veteran. Doing so, I signed those at Trump International with President Trump present. So there's a lot of people out there stealing, which is plagiarism, and also could be sued over that depending on how crazy it got. And then there's just also people out there who are social media whores who just want a name and a face, and they want you to think that they discovered it and they didn't. So there's that. So you need to know that first. Make sure to go to my Linktree, linktr.ee/1776nation to find all my official accounts. If I say that on the front or if I say that on the end, all these morons out there claiming to be me, they will actually cut that off and you won't see that. So make sure to go to that. This is my one and only TikTok account. There are fakes out there who have more followers than my authentic account. All right, so make sure to do that. And then also, the most recent thing. The most recent thing are these quote-unquote resolutions that the Senate has failed to pass. Well, you heard President Trump in the State of the Union address say, I don't need any congressional authorization, I already have it. Which the only thing that directly relates to President Trump with the War Powers Resolution Act, if you go read it, go study it, learn these terms, definitions, etc., is Section 1550, which was actually a part of the 2020 National Defense Authorization Act. So that's been passed December the 20th, 2019, and it's date specific when you read this section in the War Powers Resolution Act, which is Title 50, Chapter 33. And it says coded temporary, which means it's not for future use. All right, so you got to know a little bit about military. Quote unquote, Joe did not have not one single Title 10 or Title 32 invocation. So how were the National Guard and Reserve components active all over our nation from 21, 22, 23, 24, 25? How was that possible? Well, that's when you got to know military laws, etc. I break that down on all my other portions. But for the people who's been following me, this is for you right now. Those resolutions, quote unquote, and he said, I already have congressional authorization, which is true. That absolutely 100% proves that 21 to 25 was a puppet government, shadow government, hybrid, integrates multiple strategies and tactics out of both of those. And then President Trump was your government in exile, which he's validated in multiple meetings. The Turkish president, September 2025, he said, while I was in exile, that's straight up, that's all military. So all the terms that President Trump's been using is law, war manual, military law, military government. So you got to know those things. So the quote-unquote resolution, what absolutely proves what I just said as well, the 45-47 being a military government, military operation, military occupation, which they will unveil in history, most definitely, but the resolution portion. So from 21 to 23, they showed you the people that Joe had a Democrat president, Democrat House, and Democrat Senate. So why are they just now, the Congress, trying to pass a resolution in 2026? If what President Trump was doing was unconstitutional or overreach, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, in Iran, why didn't they try this last year, right after we bombed Iran? But more specifically, because it's date specific, December the 20th, 2019, why didn't quote unquote Joe and the cronies terminate every bit of President Trump's actions, but more specifically try to pass a resolution? It is so simple. It is so easy once you know the terms, the definitions, the language, the verbiage of all of military law, federal law, but then tactics and strategies out of military, that what you've been witnessing is most definitely a military government. And that's what makes it so biblical, historical, monumental, is that what you thought you saw wasn't what you thought you saw. And that's what's so unique and what put me on the map, but also gave me an opportunity to receive my credentials through the Department of War. And then also some other things on the special operations side of things, which is really cool. So all you veterans out there, remember your oath. And if you have the IQ, you can be recruited externally. Nothing to do with active duty, National Guard, Reserve. You can be recruited externally on a contractual side of things if you demonstrate and display that you have the IQ that they look for. Yep, I'm Derek Johnson, known as Rattletrap 1776. You can find my books on rattletrap1776.com. You can look me up on DerekJohnsonCountry.com, thedocuments.info. Make sure you spell all those correctly. And then my link tree, linktr.ee/1776nation. That shows you all my official links, my blue checks, verification. That way you can tell what pages you're following. Make sure you're following the correct pages. A lot out there faking me. And I know why, because I'm the only one with the blueprint strategy chronological order of the 45-47. That's the #1 best-selling book series.